unacceptable. You can't just sit there.
We've lost everything because of you! Get out of here right now!
Ah, look at you, still standing, still breathing, still smiling that quiet little smile that drives your enemies insane. They didn't expect that, did they? They swore you'd snap. They prayed you'd fold. They waited for the moment you'd finally show the cracks they were so sure existed. But you didn't flinch, not even a twitch. You stayed calm while they shredded their own masks in public. And now the city's buzzing like a broken neon sign about you. People whispering in hallways, eyes tracking you a little too long. Everyone asking the same question they don't dare say out loud. How the hell did you stay that composed when they were losing their minds? Surprise. It's because you weren't fighting the same battle. You were playing chess with people who still think in crayons. And the funny part, they're calling you a gangster now. Not because you did something violent, but because you didn't. You stayed classy. You stayed surgical. You stayed untouchable. While they hemorrhaged control, you sharpened silence into a weapon. And now it's time to show them why that silence wasn't weakness. It was the warning. It always starts quiet, quieter than you'd ever expect. A glance here, a half sentence there, a door that stops moving the second you walk past it. People don't confront you. No, they study you, like you're some new creature crawling out of the city's basement, and they're not sure if you bite. Funny thing is, you haven't done a damn thing. You haven't raised your voice. You haven't slammed a table. You haven't thrown a single spark into the powder room. All you did was calm down, sit still, observe. But that's the part they can't handle. That's the part that makes them whisper your name, like it's suddenly wearing a warning label, because people like them, they don't trust quiet. Quiet feels criminal, dangerous, like you know something they don't, and you're not in any hurry to share it. Your silence becomes evidence. Your composure becomes suspicion. Your lack of chaos becomes the loudest thing in the room. And now they're talking. They're talking. Trying to decode you with the mental equivalent of dollar store lockpicks. They say you're plotting something. They say you're holding back. They say you're the kind of person who smiles before the storm hits. You've become an unknown variable, an unsolved equation, a problem they can't show their work on. And nothing terrifies unstable people more than a stable person they can't predict. But here's the part their whispers will never get right. You're not unpredictable. You're not chaotic. You're not a ticking bomb. You're consistent, clean, measured, controlled in a way they've never mastered. They think you're quiet because you're hiding something. They think you're calm because you're about to snap. But the truth is colder than that. You're calm because you're finished with them, and deep down, beneath every whisper, rumor, and shaking voice, they know it. You can trace it back to one moment, one tiny, insignificant moment, at least insignificant to you. But to them, oh, that was the trigger, the snap, the point where their whole emotional scaffolding collapsed like cheap stage props in bad weather. It wasn't what you said. It was what you didn't say. It wasn't how you moved. It was how you stopped moving. You held still, completely still. No twitch, no flinch, no defensive scramble to match their rising temperature. That was it. That was the moment their nervous system screamed. He's not reacting. Why isn't he reacting? And panic. Panic loves hierarchy. It always reveals who's fragile first. It crawls right up the spine of the weakest one in the room and shakes them from the inside out. Their voice cracked. Their breathing spiked. Their words started slipping out sideways. Their mask, oh, that beautiful little mask, began to peel at the edges. Slow motion. frame by frame. You could almost hear the glue of their self-image melting off. They tried to hold composure. They really did. But the human brain betrays its owner when fear hits. Eyes dart, hands tremble, tone sharpens, control evaporates, and there you were, unmoved, unprovoked, unimpressed. Your restraint wasn't silence. It was dominance. It was a mirror held right in front of them while they shattered their own reflection. Nothing humiliates someone more than realizing the person they're trying to provoke isn't even interested enough to react. And the more unbothered you stayed, the more violently they scrambled to regain footing that was never solid to begin with. They exposed themselves, their hierarchy, their insecurities, their fractures, all while you remained a calm center point in their personal hurricane. You didn't win with aggression. You didn't win with words. You didn't win with force. You won by letting them show who they truly were when faced with someone they couldn't shake. And that moment is why they fear you now. They thought your silence was weakness, an opening, a soft spot they could poke until you finally cracked. But silence, real silence, isn't passive. It's invasive. It slides under skin and reflects everything hiding beneath it. The moment you stopped speaking, their behavior became the storyline, not yours. The spotlight shifted it without you moving a muscle, and suddenly they were exposed, talking too fast, laughing too loud, defending things no one attacked, revealing insecurities nobody asked for. Silence is a mirror, a cold, unforgiving mirror, and when you held it up, they didn't see you. They saw the chaos they've been trying to outrun for years. They thought you were analyzing them. They thought you were plotting something. They thought you were waiting to strike. But the truth is simpler, brutal even. You weren't testing them. The situation tested them on its own. A natural exam, unplanned, unavoidable, uncheatable. All you did was sit still long enough for their real character to walk out and introduce itself. You'd be surprised how quickly a person collapses when no one is arguing with them, because without resistance, their mask has nothing to push against, nothing to hold it in place. It just slides off. Their panic showed, their fear showed, their need for control leaked through every word, and the irony, they thought they were evaluating you, judging you, measuring you, but your silence turned the entire dynamic inside out. They revealed their priorities, their limits, their emotional bandwidth, their true loyalty to their own self-preservation, not the truth, all without you lifting a finger. Your silence wasn't a test. It was a threshold, a doorway they couldn't walk through without tripping on their own ego. And the moment they failed it, the moment they showed who they really were, you didn't need to say a word. Their actions graded themselves. They walked in thinking this was a fight, a showdown, a clash of tempers and volume levels. They had no idea they'd stepped into a classroom, your classroom, one they didn't sign up for, and definitely weren't prepared to pass. See, you weren't arguing. You weren't proving. You weren't battling for dominance. You were teaching, not with words, but with emotional control, self-awareness, restraint sharp enough to make their theatrics look childish. The hidden class, the one nobody advertises, where the curriculum is simple. Hold your center while someone else loses theirs. And how quickly the loud ones crumble. They talk loud because they don't think deep. They react fast because they can't reflect or slow. They mistake impulsivity for strength. They mistake noise for authority. While you sat there like A lecturer watching a student melt down because they didn't bother reading the syllabus. Your calm became the exam, a silent, beautifully cruel exam, with one question: can you stay composed when your ego is starving? You passed, effortlessly, gracefully, quietly. They, on the other hand, flunked in spectacular fashion, a meltdown so loud the whole room took notes, a performance so unfiltered, even their allies felt second-hand embarrassment. And that's the vicious humor of it. They thought you were the one on trial. They thought you were the one under pressure. They thought you were the student. But the moment they erupted, the moment they exposed themselves, the moment they traded dignity for volume, the class roster rearranged itself. You became the instructor. They became the cautionary tale. A living demonstration that the person who can't control themselves has already lost. And when the dust settled, everyone knew exactly who mastered the lesson and who failed it loudly, publicly, and irreversibly. Power never announces itself. It doesn't kick down doors. It doesn't roar. It doesn't need to. Power moves quietly. Weakness screams, and the moment they screamed, the shift began. You felt it. But more importantly, everyone else did. People started recalibrating around you. Tiny shifts in posture, softened tones, eyes holding your gaze a little too long. Not out of fear, but out of recognition. Recognition that you stayed composed when someone else fell apart. Recognition that you didn't need theatrics to maintain control. Recognition that you were different, steadier, sharper, and in a world addicted to noise, stability becomes currency. High-value currency. While you rose, quietly, they sank. Their credibility evaporated, not because of what you said. You barely said anything, but because of what they couldn't hide. People saw the cracks, the desperation, the emotional leakage, the frantic scramble to justify behavior they could barely understand themselves. Meanwhile, you became the stable node, the anchor, the point. The whole social system consciously began to orbit, not because you demanded it, not because you forced it, but because every hierarchy, formal or not, naturally rearranges itself around the person who holds composure when the room tilts sideways. That's the unspoken rule of power, the one they never teach, the one they never notice until it's too late. People don't follow the loudest voice. They follow the calmest presence. They follow the one who isn't rattled, the one who doesn't break, the one who doesn't need to win to already be ahead. You became that presence, the gravitational pull, the quiet center, and them, they became a lesson, a reference point, a story whispered later with a wince. Remember when they lost it? Yeah, that's when the whole dynamic changed. Their meltdown became social debt they can't repay. Your composure became equity you don't even need to spend. And that shift is why the room feels different now every time you walk in. You didn't campaign for a reputation. You didn't audition for one either. You just behaved like a stable human being in a room full of emotionally flammable people. But that's all it takes for a myth to start forming, because calm, real calm, is terrifying to unstable people. When they shout, you stay still. When they panic, you breathe slow. When they try to provoke you, you don't even blink. To them, that isn't normal. That isn't just composure. That's power. That's danger. That's someone who knows exactly what they're capable of and chooses restraint anyway. And nothing frightens the impulsive more than a person who doesn't need impulse at all. So the myth starts, quietly, organically, a whisper here, a retelling there, a dramatized version shared by someone who wants their side of the story to sound noble. But every retelling makes you look colder, sharper, scarier. You become the classy gangster, not because you do anything criminal. You don't need to. It's the aura, the poise, the slow, deliberate movements that look like you're always 5 steps ahead. People watch how you speak, how you pause, how you maintain eye contact without letting a single emotion leak. And they connect the dots incorrectly, but consistently. If they're this calm, what happens when they're not? Your stability becomes a threat in their fragile ecosystem. Your self-control becomes a weapon they can't defend against. You never chased an image. You never curated a persona. You never tried to be mysterious. But the reputation didn't care. It chased you. It stuck to you. It wrapped itself around your name like an unrequested title. People start adjusting their tone, choosing their words carefully, giving you a little extra space in conversations, not because you demanded respect, but because you stopped giving them chaos. And that's when they realized your calm wasn't the absence of force. It was the presence of control, a reputation you never built, but one they'll never forget. There comes a point where the transformation is complete, not when you win the argument. You stopped arguing ages ago. Not when you prove a point. You proved it by staying silent. It happens the moment you stop engaging entirely. You don't argue. You don't explain. You don't chase. You don't even look back to see who's still talking. You simply move forward, effortlessly, deliberately, like someone who finally understands just how small the battlefield really was. And when you move like that, with calm feet and a sharp spine, they scatter, every single one of them. Not because you threatened anything, not because you swung back, but because people who rely on chaos can't survive in the presence of someone who refuses to participate in it. Your composure becomes inhospitable terrain, too clean, too controlled, too precise for their mess to function. And the funniest part, they can't even articulate why you unsettle them. They just feel it. A shift in the air, a tilt in the room, a pressure behind the ribs that whispers a quiet little truth. You can't shake this one. You became feared without lifting a finger, respected without asking for it, untouchable without building any walls at all. Because control doesn't belong to the loudest. It belongs to the one who doesn't need control to have influence. The one who stays composed when others bleed emotion. The one who chooses silence over spectacle. The one who walks away while everyone else sinks deeper into their own noise. You reached that point. The apex. The moment where your presence became stronger than their performance. And now the truth stands naked in the room. Your calm was the blade. Their chaos was the wound. You didn't cut them. They cut themselves trying to get a reaction. You never had any intention of giving. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what seals the shift. They broke themselves against your silence.